Time now for another Boca Behind the Scenes here on Boca Chamber Radio. I'm Dean Muccio and want to welcome Detective Mark Horowitz with the Boca Police Department. And we're going to talk recruiting. So, Detective, welcome.
Oh, well, hey, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a great honor. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Tell me a little bit about you, your background. How long have you been a police officer, and what drew you to law enforcement?
I'm a Scorpio. Currently enjoy long walk. No, I am born and raised in South Florida. I am not from Boca. I was born and raised in the city of Hollywood and still reside in the city of Hollywood. I've worked in the city for Boca Raton. February would be my 20th year. I've been a detective for about 17 of those years.
Okay.
And I didn't become a police officer in order to be a detective or the background investigator. I wanted to put on the uniform, drive a police car, and I wanted to go and have some fun and make a difference if possible, and just serve whatever community would have me.
Sure.
And I was lucky enough to land in Boca.
This is a great community, and you got the detective position pretty quickly. I mean, if you were a cop for 20 years here, after 3 years you became a detective. That's pretty impressive, I think.
It's funnier than that story. It's fun. The story's actually funnier than that. I'm trying to get my English right. I was placed in the Detective Bureau right around 9/11 on a temporary 90-day assignment.
Okay.
We're going to leave people's names out of it. So it was a Thursday, and my temporary assignment was coming up. And I had some luck, and, I was always decent with speaking with a few people. Talk to people like they're humans. You're going to get a human response.
Sure.
So my captain called me in the office towards the end of the day and said, "Hey, we'd like you to put your letter in to stay back here." I said, "Sir, with all due respect, I don't think I'm ready. I'd like to get back in that shiny car, put that uniform back on, and, get
out there and patrol.
I just don't think it's my time yet." Mm-hmm. He said, "Young Investigator Horowitz, I respect your decision. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning." I leave. I come back in the morning. There's a note in my mailbox, a letter, official letter. I'm like, I was the last to leave. I'm the first one here. "Congratulations, you've been permanently assigned to the Detective Bureau. Please report to so-and-so on Monday with so-and-so and so." I looked, and the captain came in. I held the letter up. He goes, "You can't say I didn't give you a chance first. I offered you."
That's a great story.
I actually still have those letters.
Talk about the police department. How many officers do you have on the force, the size of the department?
Currently, we are slotted for 216 officers sworn and 107 civilians.
And we're looking to recruit new police officers to the Boca Raton Police Department. How many vacancies are you looking to fill?
As of right now, you call them vacancies. I call them opportunities. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see that class, that half full. Right now, as of today, with the things we have in motion, we're going to be around 22, 23. But it's going to be in the teens sooner than later because there's a lot of good things coming. A lot of good people that are moving on in our process. Our vetting is very strong. It's not a knock if you don't have what it takes. We're very selective. We're allowed to be that selective because of who we are. I'm going to stop saying as much.
You're doing great. What does a good candidate look like? What is someone, if they're thinking about being a police officer one day, what kind of qualities should they have?
The number one thing is let's go with our non-certified officers, all right? So these are our kids that think they want to do this job, or the men and women that think they want to do the job. I always call them my kids because when they get to a certain level, it really gets that close, and I'm not talking about beers and ball games or things like that, but I'm talking once you get to a level when you pass, like say your polygraph, you've already passed an oral board, the vetting process of why I've tried to break you down to why you don't want to do it.
Right.
So what I look for is you have to think you're all in. I want you have to be all in. There's no kindas.
Sure.
It's just too important of a job, and it takes everything from you. You're always a cop. When you're off, you're still on. You have to do the right thing when no one's looking. You have to be that example. I don't want my men and women on sunsentinel.com, all right? And life happens, though. Unfortunately, it's a reality.
Right.
But I want them to want to do this 100%, or at least think that for the non-certified ones that are coming. That are coming in. Second, and I can't even say that this is second, but I can't teach somebody integrity and character. So I need that character and communication skills. We can teach you how to be proficient with a firearm, to use your hands, to how to do things. The idea is not to do that. The idea is to de-escalate situations with the most powerful weapon you have, your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for good communication skills, good moral character, and you've got to be all in if you're one of the kids or young adults.
Now, let me ask you this. When I was a police officer, you went to a department, they hired you, and they trained you. Is that the way it is here in Florida, or do you have to get the certification before you apply for the department?
Well, you can do both in Florida. You can put yourself through an academy in Palm Beach. They'll let you put yourself through. Then they'll do a vetting, but you can self-sponsor yourself. The Broward Academy no longer does that. You have to be hired first, and then they will pay you whatever that agency pays, and they will pay for your academy. It's a series of 12 block exams. The academy is 22 weeks, and then you have to pass the state exam. With our agency, who honestly, it doesn't matter who's sitting in front of me, a certified officer or a non-certified. I'm looking for the best potential applicant person. Sometimes officers bring baggage, and I learned pretty quick in the game, don't ever ask a police officer what he or she's been disciplined for. Allegations, investigations, citizens' complaints, at-fault car accidents, uses of forces, and then discipline. I'm going to find it.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, the vetting begins from the beginning.
What are some of the qualifications? We talked about personality, being all in, having the right demeanor, but as far as age, how old do you have to be to become a police officer in Boca Raton?
Minimum age is 19. It's young, but I can tell you this. My partner and I have a civilian partner. It's just him and I. He does a great job. We were actually partners. He was one of the last to be able to come back under the old pension system, and he retired as a detective and then was rehired as a civilian background investigator. She's 20 years old, no names, but she's absolutely very unique. Mm-hmm. And now I think a year and a half or 2-year officer and doing a fantastic job. So 19 years is the question, and there is no age limit, but there are physical requirements that you are required to pass.
You have to be a citizen of the U.S.
That's correct.
Not be convicted of a felony.
That is also correct.
Convicted of perjury.
Correct.
And it goes back to good moral character.
Yeah, if somebody made a mistake when they were a kid, and something happened, we're gonna do a case-by-case basis. Mm-hmm. All right. We may not hold you to the ringers because life happens.
Right.
If you've learned from your mistakes and you're doing what you're doing and you're doing it at a good level now, then it's not that we're unforgiving.
What about if someone comes to you and they don't have a driver's license, but they want to be a police officer? Is that like, go get your driver's license, come back, or?
I mean, if we're talking about a 40-year-old guy that doesn't have a driver's license, I'm going to wonder why he didn't have a driver's license.
That's a little suspicious.
That's a little weird. He may be living at home riding his bike. Right. I don't know what's going on there.
So you have to have a driver's license.
You need to have a valid Florida driver's license. That's correct.
All right. I'm just running down.
No, I mean, upon being hired with us, well, with that, what that actually means is for our out-of-state applicants,
right? Once
they come here, upon being hired, right at that point, you got to go get your license. You need a valid Florida license. We're not going to let you drive in a marked unit or in any type of city vehicle without a valid driver's license from Florida.
Sure. Talk about why the Boca Police Department is different than other departments. What sets Boca apart from the others?
Honestly, the way the city's run, from the tenure from our city manager, Lee Fennell, to George Brown, to our chief of police, Stan Alexander, and the tenure that they've had and how well it's run and how much the city actually cares about its police officers. And they show it by the benefit package, by the amounts, by the equipment, would be the budget.
What about the salary for a police officer nowadays? Where does it stack up here in Boca?
It's unprecedented. Even the number with the 66,168. We're being nice. That's not counting if you have a bachelor's degree. You're going to get another 960 from the state. The city's going to match. We're going to give you 150 every December, which is 1110. All your uniforms are brand new and paid for, including your outer vest, which is bought and fitted for you. You're not going to get some stinky, smelly out vest that some guy that worked 15 years was wearing. You're going to get nope. You're going to get all brand new equipment, but we're still going to give you $1,300 in uniform allowance. The fleet is basically a brand new fleet. Our chief is very big into technology and equipment. So the car is not going to be running around with German cockroaches like mine was when I first started.
Yes.
Can't get rid of them.
Right.
And if you don't wreck that brand new car, you're not at fault. You're going to get $600 every 6 months.
Now,
That's another
that's awesome.
That
is really unbelievable.
You're rewarded. It's called accident free. That salary is also not including holiday pay. Well, what is holiday pay? If you work the holiday, you get time and a half. But if your shift happens to fall and you're off on the holiday, you get 8 hours extra pay. It works out to about $3,000 extra. So it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, I don't want you coming here for just the money.
Well, of course.
I mean, when we released our new contract, I received a slew of hey, how you doing? Forget about it. Hey, you been in a car accident? Oh, who doesn't something here and there, I don't think people uproot. I mean, what kind of person just jumps and wants? This is a big change. This is more likely to succeed than a marriage. Squared away people that have been squared away in their life just don't uproot and throw everything down. They have to sit back, think about this, talk about it with their family. Moving, starting over. This is a big deal. This is 20 years of your life.
Sure.
The dust settled, and now really great apps are coming in with really great people. And not that there weren't some already, but money is a good fact. Don't get me wrong. Money's, it's nice.
Right.
The time is also something, which is nice, but I don't want people coming down to Boca from different states, coming here for a barbecue, a suntan, and no state taxes. You're going to work. You're going to protect the citizens here. You're going to work.
Do you take home your patrol car? Is that an added value to
Of course.
your position?
That would be something great. Yeah. When I first started, the answer was no. If you live anywhere in Broward or Palm Beach County, the answer is yes. And those are pretty big counties.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a big perk.
What other areas did you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I think the time is something big. With a lot of agencies you're doing, we still have a COLA. A lot of agencies are falling, and they're not. They're falling off with the COLAs. Our COLA right now under the current contract is if you do the 20, you don't get it for the first 2, but you can do 22 years at a higher percentage, which is 77%. You can max it at 24 years at 84.5%, and then we actually have a drop. So you can drop up to 5 years. So you can do 3 months, 6 months, a year drop. Don't have to drop. We have no minimum age. So you can do 20 years, and it would be 70% of your highest salary. And we have no age requirement. So that the 20-year-old I was talking about,
right,
40 years old.
Yeah, it's it's impressive. I'm really impressed with the department, and I'm very.
Our command staff does everything and anything for us, from Chief Alexander to Deputy Chief Muccio to Assistant Chief Mindick. They're behind the police force, and it's nice to know that. Our chief, can honestly say, is a fair, and great guy. If he came into my office tomorrow and said, I heard your podcast, we're going to go a different direction, I'd shake his hand. Chief, please don't do that. But if he did, I'd shake his hand and say, thank you for the opportunity you gave me. This is a huge responsibility.
Well, thank you. Detective Mark Horowitz with the Boca Raton Police Department, part of the Boca Behind the Scenes, recruiting some folks for the department here, and there's a lot of good reasons to want to be a Boca Raton police officer.
I'll leave it with this, sir. If you meet our requirements, you can go on our website and you can look at everything. Everything is done on our website.
All right.
Okay? You go to the www.bocapolice.com website. It'll show you exactly what you do. You need a current BMST, a basic motor skills test, from either the Broward Academy or the PAT test from the Palm Beach Academy to apply. They're both good for 6 months. It doesn't matter which one you have. Even if you're a current certified officer, you need that test.
Okay.
So you can submit your application online, and if you have what it takes, you're going to be emailed back a super application, which is our background packet. I don't need to tell you how many. I mean, I've already told you how many openings. This city's only going to keep getting bigger and stronger.
Sure.
Right now, we're growing up into the skyline, but it's only a matter of time before it even gets bigger. If you have what it takes, we have a place for you.
Very good. Detective, great meeting you. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we look forward to the new class. Boca Behind the Scenes, it's all a part of the city of Boca on here at Boca Chamber Radio.